Hey guys and gals, welcome to the second episode of Dude, Check This Out, a music podcast by Hambone Relay. Speaking of Hambone Relay, my name is Rob Tate. I'm your host. I play drums for Hambone Relay. And over there on the computer is Mark Brown.
Hey.
Yeah, he got the cue this time too. It's great. And he plays organ. He does the business dealings with Hambone Relay. And this, like I said, this is the second episode of Dude, Check This Out. And here's what this podcast is all about. We talk about local artists or touring artists, and we talk to them about favorite tunes, their bio, things they like in the top 40, things they definitely hate about the top 40, and the last things they've been listening to or checking out. One quick footnote is there are too many genres, if you call them that. There are too many genres for us to touch on every single one, so if you're angry about it, sorry. You can send us an email at hambonerelay@gmail.com if there's something that you want us to specifically talk about, or an artist that's touring through Philadelphia, which is where we are, and we can interview them if they want. That would be great. With us today is Trap Rabbit Logan Arjun of Trap Rabbit. What's up, boys?
Yo.
Sup.
Sup.
And it's all going to be one-syllable answers today on our podcast. Hey. But like I said, we have different co-hosts every show. Today we're having these fantastic gentlemen, and they're Philadelphia natives now.
No. Yeah. Based. No. Certainly Philadelphia based.
Well, originally.
We are now, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys are both living in Philly now. You live over in it West Philly? Or no,
I'm in northern Philly. He's in West Philly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're in northern Philly, if you don't
No
mind
Libs.
No Libs.
Yeah.
We played there.
No Libs?
That's where I live.
I thought it was Fishtown.
I'm sticking to it.
Oh, okay. It's a constant debate about where the line is,
I don't
right?
know where that line is.
Because
I know it's not Fishtown.
I looked up where Heritage
Okay.
I looked up where Heritage was, and it's just below that Northern Liberties line. I was like, thank God I said the post right, because people when you post on like the social medias and you're in the wrong, you say the wrong neighborhood, you're like, excuse me, that's actually the west side of Fishtown. Go
certain neighborhoods.
Were you saying that Google calls
there's
Kensington?
There's no such thing as like West Kensington or something.
But if you look on Google, it says West Kensington. But anyone who actually lives there, right?
They're just like, it's not. It's just Kensington.
Yeah.
And they always say it used to be its own town, which it used to be. Anyway, there's a lot of pride in different neighborhoods. Just get the name right.
Right.
Know?
Like West Kensington.
Instagram doesn't know. Yeah.
Well, apparently you're not from there. Maybe they're going to get like a bunch of emails.
Yeah. There's no pride to be had. I don't think it exists. I think it's he who must not be named or something. But
there we go.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great. Well, okay. So Logan.
Yes.
You were born in Chicago.
Yes, I was born in Chicago.
You grew up there as well?
I did grow up there, yeah.
How long were you in Chicago?
For a while. I spent up until about like 7th or 8th grade. I lived in the suburbs of Chicago, and then I moved into the city after that. So I was in Chicago proper for 5 years, and then I still go back there sometimes. And yeah.
Your family lived there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Lots of family, just all in the Midwest and.
Were you in the
Michigan,
burbs of the city, or were you in the city of Chicago?
So, like, up until 7th grade, I was, like, out in the burbs. But even then, that was, like, 25 minutes outside the city, 30 minutes outside the city.
Oh, okay.
And then we moved into the city. And then it's better there. It's better inside the city than it is outside the city.
It is?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, so is there way more crime, like, outside of the city than in the city?
Look, the crime in Chicago is actually very it's high, right? But it's super condensed. It's super like localized. There's just like little pockets of hardcore crime in Chicago, and then a lot of the city is actually really nice. I will say there's also like very, very serious segregation in the city as well, but there are parts of the city that are awesome, and then there are parts of the city that are really dangerous, and that's just how it is. I was lucky enough to not grow up in a super dangerous part. I was on the north side of the city, wasn't like wealthy enough to live like right in like the Gold Coast or like the super ritzy parts, but I was kind of like just on the fringes of that.
Okay.
So it was nice there. Yeah.
And you had the whole family had like mom, dad, any siblings?
Mm-hmm.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 siblings.
Ooh. Okay, so 4 of you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now here's my big question.
Okay.
Who in the family played? Because you're a crazy great piano player, keyboard player. Like there had to be somebody. Usually you can tell when somebody had that thing when they grew up. Like did you have somebody that like you played with, like mom, dad, anybody?
So there's definitely music in my family. My grandma was like, she played clarinet in the Wisconsin Symphony Orchestra or something like that. My grandpa played a bunch of music, but my dad was the biggest sort of musical motivator. He was very serious about classical piano, and he played a lot, kind of like waking up 2 hours practicing and then coming back from school 4 hours practicing, sort of thing. And at some point he actually got to the point where he's like, okay, am I going to actually pursue this professionally? And he said no, and he went to become a doctor. Probably smart of him to do that. I don't know.
We'll get deeper into choices later.
But definitely, yeah. And then all of my siblings all play music.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they're all.
Is it a whole band? Did you do the part? Is it the Partridge Family?
We didn't necessarily all play, but like separately. So my oldest brother plays guitar. We used to like jam in the basement all the time. My sister, so I'm the third. My sister was like into musical theater and stuff like that, so I'd play while she would sing. And then my younger brother's 7 years younger than me. I haven't like done much jamming with him, but he plays guitar. He used to play piano. You know, he's also very like musically intelligent and stuff
that's
like that.
amazing.
Lots of music and art. Yeah.
Okay, so there wasn't like a family thing, but you play with pretty much all of them, other than the younger brother.
Yeah.
Okay. I read an interview with you specifically. Your dad showed you your first favorite bands like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Gene Harris, Oscar Peterson, and one of my favorites, Brad Mehldau.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What was the album for, especially Emerson, Lake and Palmer, that you got shown?
Oh,
as
Tarkus.
A kid?
I mean,
Tarkus?
It was Tarkus and no. It was that one and I'm blanking on the name. I think it was just a number.
What was the cover?
It was like a skull, and
Okay.
it was super cool. Oh man, I can't remember what.
That's not the brain salad surgery one, is it?
It might. Yeah, it is that one. Yeah,
great
it's that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
an Emerson,
yeah.
Lake and Palmer fan?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that was that.
And what about Brad Mehldau? Because I just want to know if I'm like on the same wavelength as you on Brad.
That one would be. There were two that really made him like my favorite artist. There was The Art of the Trio.
Is
which
that
is
All
incredible.
Motion?
No,
Who's playing drums on that?
Larry Grenadier's on bass.
Bill Stewart? No, it couldn't have been him.
I forgot who was playing drums, but it was an incredible album, and the drums are incredible on that. And I'm so sorry I'm blanking on that.
It's
but
okay.
Anyway,
we're gonna get an email from whoever it was.
from whoever, and they'll tell us. But it was that one, and then Day Is Done.
Okay, and there were two that I was surprised to read. Pinetop Perkins and Otis Spann.
Oh yeah,
Really?
So I played I did the like pedagogy thing, the normal playing classical pieces, and then then this thing happened. I moved into the city. I started meeting real working musicians. The first real working musician I met was actually also an 8th grade teacher. He was my 8th grade history teacher, but at night he was a harmonica player. He was like really classic post-war era blues. And I was looking for a not classical teacher, and so the first not classical teacher I had, he hooked me up. It's this like super old school blues player, boogie woogie blues player. His name was Erwin Helfer, and it was only after that I got into like more jazz stuff. But yeah, the first non-classical teachers I had were all blues people. So Pinetop
awesome.
Perkins, Otis Spann, so influential on my playing. Yeah, I used to he's incredible.
I don't know too much about him, to be 100% honest.
Check him out. Dude.
Check this out.
Dude,
See,
check this
that's
out.
the point
Otis
of this
Spann.
podcast, is that
Yeah.
like we talk about stuff that people wouldn't necessarily hear about or know about, because with you don't hear about these unknown artists.
Yeah.
We talk about like, I went digging, I found this, and then you present it. Now, my brother from another mother, my other Jersey
Drummer.
That's right, drummer. That's right, Jersey drummer. Homedale.
That's right.
Okay, were you? Was it just kind of? It's the Burbs, right? It's just like
Yeah, it's the Burbs. It's like 25 minutes north of Asbury Park. It's where PNC Bank Arts Center is. Yeah. That's
for some
the town.
reason, I should have knew that. That's beautiful.
Nobody's going there for the town. So
Now, were you going to Asbury Park as a kid?
Not really.
Did you
no.
say you played at the Stone Pony?
Oh yeah, when I was in like high school, yeah, I got a couple jazz gigs there.
That's awesome.
You know, yeah, but
like with your high school's big band or like a
no,
combo thing?
like just knowing other like jazz people in New Jersey. You meet like high schoolers who are also doing it. There's a big thing in Jersey with like high school and jazz, and so that
I feel the same.
Yeah.
Did you get into one of those all-state Jersey whatever?
That was my senior year. I was in the all-state band. Yeah.
Ooh.
Dude.
Yeah, right? I
All-state
get to talk
band.
about that from 8 years ago.
You're like, yeah, I'm still living it. It's fine. It's fine.
What an important thing. Yeah.
I went up against this guy. His name was Dave Hardy. I don't know if you remember him. He was this dude from Burlington City. He's a monster. He lives up in New York City now, but I could never, ever beat him. He always got a little higher.
Oh, is that how it was? It's all
Yeah,
It's competition.
everyone's like
Evaluate.
waiting in a hallway,
That sucks.
and the judges are at a
I'm
table.
so glad I never did
Quite
that.
like this actually, and they have their backs turned to you. It's all really like shitty.
It's really bad for your ego, and then on top of that, you're standing right outside the door when they're doing these evaluations, and you're like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get it. So you're just like,
Yeah, and you're at the mercy of like your band director, who could be like a huge jokester like mine, and be like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, you need a drum set." You know,
imagine you show
Stuff
up and
like
you're
that.
Which one can I play?
yeah, I did that for one of those, and I beat him.
Oh
Anyway.
my god. Here's my other question. Now, did you play drums first?
No,
I
well,
knew it.
I don't know. Like when I was 5, I got piano lessons, and I wasn't really super into it because I didn't really own a piano. So I was playing like a shitty Casio keyboard, and it didn't really click for me. I had like an okay teacher. Nothing was really happening there. Once I like got to actually like sit down at real pianos, I started to discover how much I liked it.
Like
But
the way to keys and like feeling the
yeah, but
actual
like
thing?
I would go to other families' houses and feel, but I couldn't make the connection at the time. But like when I got older, I was like, I do like piano, but I think I threw this out a little too early. But how would I know? Anyway, I didn't like it, but when I had to pick another instrument, my parents were like, well, why don't you pick it? And
Yeah,
I was
so-
about to pick saxophone, and then I picked drums because I saw a guy playing drums at a concert.
Who was it?
It was like my brother was in a high school like jazz band or something, and I just saw the drummer, and I was like, he looks like the guy who can just fuck everything up. And that
And you
kind
wanted to be that guy.
that power, it looks so much fun. I mean,
I've seen you do it.
yeah,
Fuck everything up?
Not
Yeah,
by
me too.
accident, like
I've seen you do it live. I've literally seen bass players go. I've seen it.
oh, that stuff. Yeah, I thought you meant like when my bass drum pedal breaks, and I look at Logan and be like, "Song's over."
Yeah.
I need to hear that story. That's amazing. Okay. Same interview I was reading online, and they talk about your influences, which are some of my favorite influences. Brian Blade, Keith Carlock, Nate Smith, Benny Greb, Sput, Juliana, who you've both opened for.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about that. But I was surprised. We're going to get back. But I was surprised Ari Honig was not mentioned.
Oh man, I should have put him on there.
Because-
I should. Yeah.
What is that? What's his project called?
The one we
saw
saw at
him
Ortleaves?
play at Ortleaves.
With that duo project.
Oh,
with
you
it?
did,
called-
what, you did the DJ thing?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
Oh, I don't remember what it's called. But
It was like a DJ bass player.
No,
and-
yeah,
wasn't it?
no. He like played horn and he did lots of effects.
Oh, yeah, he had
and
a
it was-
horn, too.
It was a duo. I have.
Logan's
I
about to
can't-
have a
I can't-
brain
No, I
aneurysm.
can't do it.
It's like- it's like
I
the
just
eighth
am
time.
bad at remembering.
You should just
names,
Google
man.
stuff.
you have your
I'll do
phone.
this.
It's okay.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
But
That was
Ari
awesome.
Honig is an influence, right? Because you
Oh,
do
for
all these
sure.
metric modulations. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, Ari Honig's disgusting. It's like stupid watching him play sometimes. Like I can't deal with like how he processes like some of the things he does. Because like when Juliana plays, at least I'm like wow, I didn't think of that, but I think I could think of it.
Right, like
Ari
you-
stuff, I'm like I can't.
You can't process it. You're just
Yeah.
like, it's like noise, but it's melodic, and you're like, I don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
he has some crazy independent stuff that like I just realized I'm like those are 4 separate like brains. This is
Like
no,
the book that he's got.
Yeah, oh yeah. Is that what he calls it?
Well, no, he's got a book.
Yeah.
It talks about all these independence exercises and how he's thinking of time on top of other pieces
there you
of
go.
time.
Whoa.
Okay.
I wanna read
I
that.
also
Buy
can't
that book.
remember what it's called.
Whoa.
But
The
check
Honig
that out.
book.
Wait
The
a
Honig
second.
book.
In any case, it definitely shows in his playing.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
That Kenny Werner stuff. Nah. Okay, so you both went to Princeton
Yes.
Indeed.
University. Now, does that do people get on your case about that at all? Like, you guys went to Princeton,
Occasionally.
kind of like a Harvard thing, like.
Occasionally, yeah.
I just asked him to move on.
yeah. It's like, all
Like,
right,
you'll be all right.
we're good.
Like you asked, but this is not important to us at all.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, I learned what I needed to do. Don't associate my name with that
Yeah.
thing.
Like we're both still broke musicians in Philly. We're not any different.
It didn't do anything.
Like they did not help us with anything as far as what we're doing right now as a university. No, the people and the faculty, great, amazing. But like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They're not. I think in my experience was the university tried. They tried to help us, but they were not. They just didn't know what to do with people who actually wanted to graduate and go into music, and not just like, oh, I'm going to go into the music industry and make a shit ton of money. They were not prepared for. And there were others besides us too in our class specifically that were trying to like make art and make like cool music that wasn't necessarily like trying to be in the industry and like. Or
I would say
whatever.
the point of the university was not to teach you anything practical because they didn't have a business major. They didn't have like a finance major.
Which is okay. Which is
No,
okay.
they had like
which is okay if you're going to law school, if you're going to med school,
Right.
if you're.
it was
going
all
into
just
finance,
intellectual.
and, yeah.
That was it. Like so, like if you wanted to learn about practical aspects of any business or like any field you're going into, that would rely on like you getting an internship somewhere or joining some club
Yeah.
or doing something outside of your classes. It's not going to happen in your classes.
And in fact, I tried to get an internship, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get an internship in LA because they specifically, that internship was like, we can only take you on if you're going to get college credit for it. And Princeton was like, no, like that's not how we do our internships. Like they should just be happy to have you. And it's like, you realize that no one in like arts and entertainment actually looks at this Ivy League education and actually values it as much as you guys are valuing yourself.
Such a good way to put it.
That's
Yeah.
a great way to put it.
Yeah. So
My question is this: what was the if you don't mind divulging, what was the internship in LA?
oh well, I ended up getting it. I had to enroll at a community college. It was that specific one was at Warner Chapel. I was doing licensing, and it was the most soul-crushing thing in the world. Everyone was so nice, but it was so... I showed up at 9. I had a giant stack of papers. They're like, enter this into the computer system, and by the time I was done, it was 6 p.m., and I went home. And that's all I did for 2 months, and it hurt.
A friend of mine does that in Nashville, a new friend of mine, and she said that like people just yell at her on the phone all the time for copyright stuff. Just like all day, like famous like country artist managers, and it's bananas.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Did you get a lot of phone calls like that?
Well, no, not me. I was an intern, right?
But still.
My boss, the people that I was working for, like, yeah, they had to deal with that, and they're dealing with Beyonce's people, and they're dealing with like these people who are giant egomaniacs.
But they were super nice at the office.
The people that worked at the office were incredibly nice.
Have you seen that episode of South
Incredibly
Park where they like introduce you to the Mormons
Mark
on
has.
South Park? And like they're all, I mean, even like Book of Mormon, they're all wearing white and they're just like, hello. Yeah. That's what I imagine this office being like. Like,
It's not. No.
they're
These
dealing with
people
the
were
worst
nice, and
crap
they were
ever,
also-
but they're just like.
They were also like super cool people and everything. And my boss, David Costa is his name. He was just like the chillest guy ever. But it was rough because some of this actual work was pretty soul crushing.
The whole music industry is run by like 6 Mormons in a back office in LA. Is what I'm thinking.
There you have it. The interview's over, and that's good. We're gonna take a quick break from Princeton because I have to go back because I saw a photo of you, or I think it's you. I pray it's you.
Oh boy.
I went dumpster diving on Facebook.
Oh,
Please tell
yes.
me that the Harry Potter photo is real. And
Oh
that's
my
not
God.
You. Please tell me that's you.
So funny. I love this interview. No, man.
Damn it! I was
What?
sure. There's a photo he's got. I'll try to put it up somewhere on Instagram or something. There's a photo of Arjun.
showed me this.
No, well, not. It looks exactly like him, or like. I hope I'm not like stereotyping Indians too. Or
No, I stereotyped Indians when I put that up, dude.
There's this guy standing right behind Daniel Radcliffe, and he's just dead eyeing the camera, just like this. And I was like, "Oh my God, please be you!" And people commented like it was real. I'm like, "Oh my God, I have to ask this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
are you in the?
I gotta see this.
See if you
I
can
can't
find the
believe I haven't
photo."
Here, check this out. Do you see that kid right there?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought it was him. I'm like, oh my god.
I uploaded the album as if I was a hired extra.
Yeah.
Because I look so much like this extra. I was just like,
So
I
funny.
thought
just
it was
believe
you.
it, yeah.
I could have swore it was you. That was the thing I wanted to ask
Good
you
digging.
earlier, but I was
Great
like, I'll
digging.
wait.
Good digging.
But okay, so back to Princeton. I'm so disappointed.
We don't have to, but
we don't have to. We can dump into Harry
sure.
Potter. My question is: was you guys were in the music school at Princeton?
there is no music school. So
Or
he
like
was,
program?
Logan was a music major, and I was like a jazz minor, you could say.
It
but
wasn't even that. It was like a certificate.
there,
That's what they
yeah, it
call
was like a certificate, but like
Yeah.
it's the same thing as a minor, you could say.
Right. Yeah.
The point is that they had a music program that was like you could play in bands and you could play in the jazz program, and that's what we did. So he did his music major like in the classical like Western canon music theory, studying composing, whatever. He wrote a piece for his thesis. I was a history major, but we both played in the jazz program together.
You were a history major?
Yeah,
In what?
I actually wrote a
Aspect.
thesis on music history. Yeah,
No way.
yeah, and I took a bunch of stuff on like late antiquity and like random like Roman Empire stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was fun. But
Yo,
that's
please send that over. I want to read that.
the thesis. Oh boy,
Or
that-
do you look down on it now? You're just like, eh.
It was. I could have done a better job. I'll put it that way.
Was it rushed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it was rushed, but I graduated.
Well, I assume both of you did. You're both killers. Okay, we're another dumpster dive. The band y'all were with when you moved to Philly, was it Honeyhead?
Oh wow, we are getting deep into it.
It was Cactus Karma.
That is
Was
the
it
one
the
that-
same band,
but
or-
Honeyhead.
Not the same people.
Okay.
So different band.
They
yeah.
they were happening at the same time. Honeyhead and
Yeah.
Cactus Karma were happening at the same time, but Honeyhead.
But you were in both.
Yes,
We
we
were
were
in
both
both,
in
yeah.
both.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were the constant for all the bands that we were in college.
Yeah,
Oh
I would
wow!
say,
And everybody
yeah.
else kind of flaked off over time. And
Or
you-
we're it was just different groups of people, but we
Different
were
groups
always
of
the same.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the vibe of was Cactus Karma? What was the vibe of that band? Was it just like a rock band, or was it like a?
No, it was like kind of soul experimental stuff going on. I mean, that band started when we had first discovered Hiatus Coyote, sort of thing. Like
Oh, so good.
Stuff like so good, and so like that. There was a lot of that influence in there, but then there was also just like straight jazz influence as well. Like our trumpet player is a super like heady jazz guy, and I don't
Singer's
know.
amazing. Our singer friend Pam. She
Oh,
lives
yeah.
she lives in LA now, and she still sings, and she's great. It was like a very soft-spoken soul funk thing. Oh, the bass player.
Oh,
He goes
killer.
to Michigan now, and for grad school,
composition,
he's
yeah.
amazing. God,
Yeah.
What's
these
his
are-
name?
Noah Fishman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Any
guy.
relation to John Fishman?
No.
Okay.
No relation to probably anyone famous. I don't
hard
think,
dig.
right?
I don't know. I have no. I
There's
don't
probably
know.
a lot of Fishmans.
That's
He's great. I just
as
wanted to
far
give
as
him a shout
fishermen,
out.
as far as fishermen go,
Okay.
this one is
That band was cool. We
great.
tried to keep that going when we moved to Philly, but everyone wanted to do their own thing. We were all different ages. I think we were the only two that were like at the same age, same year of graduating.
Pam.
doing the
Were
same
you
thing.
the youngest?
Pam was too,
but
but
she
Pam
moved to New York.
Pam had different plans that she wanted to move
Yeah.
to New York and do her own thing, and so
And
the band
Divya
split
as
up.
well, and yeah,
Yeah.
so it broke up because and that actually was the dynamic of writing sometimes as well. Sometimes writing with that band. I think anyone that I was talking to the Darla Boys about this as well.
Darla Boys.
It's
Check
like-
them out.
Yeah. They, sometimes I think it's really difficult to write collectively when you have more than, I don't know, two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than
So,
one.
I mean, sure, you guys
We'll
know.
talk about it. That's
Okay.
another
Yeah,
question
yeah.
I got. But so when you guys moved to Philly, how long was it till that band kind of fizzled out? Was it like you all moved at the same time? Band house? Did you have a band house?
They
No,
didn't move
because
with
everyone
us.
moved to different things, but we moved together.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we
okay.
had
The others still lived in Princeton, and some of them lived in New York.
But
and
you all were
so-
driving
driving
going
and stuff.
wherever.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
lasted
playing,
probably-
we played in New York, Princeton, a little bit in Philly. Yeah,
6 months, you say?
Yeah, 6 months or so, and then someone moved away or something. Oh yeah, Divya moved to the West Coast,
And
and
you
then
played
it
what?
she played
Or she?
saxophone.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Saxophone. Okay.
Yeah.
How big was
And
this band?
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a band with like a horn section and then like the rhythm section. That's cool, man. Man, I thought it was it. I thought that was the band. All right. So that band fizzles out, and you guys decide, okay, let's just do it ourselves.
Yep,
Is
that
that
was it.
pretty much what the
That's
decision
Yeah,
was?
what
it was
happened.
just we were just left to our own devices, and we still didn't really know anybody in this city.
We didn't know anybody.
Oh, that
So-
must have been brutal.
Well, we had each other.
Yeah,
and
and that
in a
was-
basement.
no.
You know, it's
no,
I know,
no,
but
it's like it's true though. Like if we didn't have that unit, it would have been really, really difficult, I think, to break into this scene. I think it almost would have been impossible. Actually.
It would have been more miserable because at least going to like random open mics and trying to meet people, I don't want to do that alone.
Yeah, well,
I don't know, I'll be
it's
honest.
brutal. I've done it.
You know,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like at least we could do that together and be like, hey, this is kind of shitty, but hey, we met these people and hey, let's get a beer.
Yeah, right.
It was a fun, exciting time to just like do stuff like that.
It must have also been nice that you could approach somebody together and at least feel some sense of calm.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, it's just us plus, I don't know, Ross Bellenois or somebody or John Coleman.
Yeah, we
Just-
wish.
Yeah.
But it must have been that must have really helped. So that's great.
It was very helpful.
The one thing that people always say whenever I bring up you guys in, we'll call it the Philly scene general, is how many genres you all hit. Like, it's kind of bananas. Like,
Why are they trying to put us in a box?
I
Rob?
know. That's why I tell people that like we try not to talk genre, but that's the way people conceptualize
No,
things.
it makes
But you
sense.
touch on a lot, like specifically the jazz and kind of the new funk jam groups, and then hip hop. Then you go into the frickin' behind the beat 2 and 4, and on top of the like laid back grooves. I think it's Are You Real? You guys do that? You switch back and forth
Yeah,
between
we
the
do that.
times.
We
I
do a
think
little
so.
bit of like dragging and speeding up and just like kind of,
Is that conceived or thought about, or is it just felt?
Well, no, it's something that we developed as we played the song more, but it became part of the composition.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's in terms of the
felt.
genre,
Yeah.
the genre stuff.
that was the question.
Yeah, that was the original question.
That stuff also changes from gig to gig a little
for
bit,
sure.
and also in the terms of like. So for instance, Growth Spurt is a song that we wrote that's on our EP, but we play it now way more hip hop than it was, at least the ending section.
But it still has that jazz feel.
It's like
That
a really
sandwiches the beginning bookends the whole song.
essentially as a duo, we realized that it's really hard unless we're just like jamming out. It's really hard to like really maintain interest and really keep it going.
Okay.
So I think that has a lot to do with why we do different genres and do different time signatures and all the different stuff. Just match it together because that's at least for us.
That's
Like
the
we
original
just
reason.
we just kept
Yeah.
we would get bored. We'd play our songs and they'd be whatever they're doing. We're like, okay, now we got to add a bunch.
You
of
talked about us being into like a jam band scene, and that's absolutely true in terms of people we play with in Philly and a lot of the people we hang out with and are friends with. But when we started this, we didn't want to be in that scene. We didn't want to be looked at as a jam band precisely because when we would play as a duo and just start jamming on stuff, we felt like
It was boring.
we were boring. It was like this is weird. I mean, we need like at least 2 more people to make this work.
Yeah,
we need to
right.
write something else, man.
Yeah.
And that's where the genre switching comes from. Is this we just started getting impatient. We're like, we need to make this good.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like if you're not playing straight ahead jazz now, and if it's like any form of instrumental, if it's not classical, you automatically get put into the jam band scene.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to us all the time. Either you're jazz or you're jam band or funk. It's either one of those 3 idioms, and we like rock.
Right, yeah, that's the
So,
thing.
like,
I love playing cover gigs. I love doing jam things. I guess between us two, whenever we like try to do stuff together that we do originally, we always want to be unique somehow. I think we always
and you
want to
definitely are.
yeah.
For sure.
thanks.
appreciate
Because
that.
and I know it's through composed a lot of it, and you have like jam sections.
Right.
By the way, the most hilarious thing I've seen when I see you guys live is John Coleman counting. When one of you is soloing because you know the tune so well,
You
and
are
John
not the
Coleman going
first person.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so funny, and like he's killing it, but he's just he's still thinking
yeah. And that's how we were a year ago with these tunes too.
so amazing. What is it like playing with him? Even though you guys have been playing together for so long, he's kind of been like the newest, almost permanent addition. Of the
it's
band.
getting there. We have to teach him. We have to teach him all the songs, but
We mostly have.
We mostly have. We're getting closer and closer every time, but
Not every gig that we do is like needs a bassist. And when he was saying like that thing about the gig being like, when we opened for Mark Juliana, we felt more like a jazz group, even with John.
Yeah.
And then when we opened for, I don't know, like a punk band, which happens, we feel more like, I don't know, like a prog group, even with John. It'll change up.
Yeah.
But
Does
like,
your set change depending on the show?
no, we play the same song.
Okay.
It's just like the vibe. But
we-
like,
Well, the
I mean,
vibe
I
of the
think
songs, do
that's
they
everyone,
do they kind of like they can be interchangeable depending on who you're opening for, and you're conceiving like, okay, this probably has to be a little more swingy or like jazz if
I
you're
think
opening
so.
for Juliana.
like
I
a
mean, like
dynamics thing
it's
or
the
the
difference
room.
is it's totally the room. Like in a basement, we will play our jazzy things less jazzy, and then on the stage we'll certainly like kind of.
It's like this thing where like if you play at like Bourbon and Branch and like you feel more inclined to be less like artsy about it because you're like I don't think people are like standing up, they want to drink, they want to like
more of a party.
When we're at like the place in Delaware at the Juliana show, it was like very elderly people. It was a jazz show
for Mark Juliana.
It was a community show. I mean, down there in Arden, Delaware. I mean, it was like a pretty elderly community that regularly goes to these shows.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like a membership type of thing?
Yeah. It was like a
did one of these
volunteer-run guild hall thing. Yeah.
They get. I mean, the
Arden
Arden
Guild Hall.
like theater company. They're doing Charlotte's Web. They're doing all sorts of cool
They're
stuff.
amazing.
And they get really great
I'm
artists.
sorry, they're
but
doing Charlotte's Web.
They also have like a whole theater section that's like they're
Oh,
doing.
okay.
They have big billboards around and stuff like that. But
Okay.
I forget who else they draw, but they get a lot of really cool music artists as well.
I didn't really know it was a thing. You pay the subscription fee in the beginning of the year, then you just get tickets. We just opened for Bumper Jackson's the other day at the Sellersville Theater, and that's also the same thing. It's like an old movie
membership.
theater.
Yeah,
it's a Thank you, I couldn't think of the word. The membership, and then you all these people come, and it's ages 50 to like 80.
Yep.
But you wouldn't think that for like a Juliana who.
Well, they didn't even know who he was. I don't think.
Well,
They
some of them did. No, some of them definitely
Yeah,
did,
but I
but
think
some of them definitely didn't. Some of
were
them
just there for the
were there
show.
because
Yeah.
it was like jazz, and they're like, "Oh, it's a jazz show."
Let's
Did
go.
people know who you were?
No.
No.
We were the opening local talent.
Oh, we drew 2 people.
Yeah, they came from Philly. Yeah, like Mike Hoffman.
They
came
gave
from
you.
Philly.
they
Yeah.
gave you- Mike Hoffman is one of the most
Mickey
dedicated.
Takahira came as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my dude.
He's an
love
amazing
him.
dude.
He's the best.
And Mike, when you talk about pedals, you lose me sometimes. I love you to death, but
Speaking of pedals, looping back to playing with John.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we barely touched on that, but
we bounced off.
playing he has freed me up a lot.
Oh, your left hand's like it don't hurt anymore.
It's one of those things where I like had to learn how to play left hand bass when we were playing as a duo, and then I did it and it was cool. But now that we have a bassist again, it's like, oh right, I can like really do crazy things now. But before I couldn't. I just couldn't
play keys.
I can actually really be a
both
key.
hands.
There's like so. Having him around has been awesome, and also being able to take gigs when he's not available has also been awesome. He's a busy dude, you know. So
don't influence Mark though. We're not getting a bass player. Like Mark has to continue playing left.
Man, I pick up things when I listen to his left hand. So I mean, seriously. So.
Aw, Mark is blushing. That was so nice.
I would say we've been doing more shows with John than without.
I've noticed
because it's super fun.
Because it's fun and
and he's the best.
I really like. It helps me out.
You guys put out some goofy Instagram stories. What was that thing the other day? He's trying to say, like, I understand you so well when you try to tell me ideas. You're like,
Yeah, right.
And I was like,
We're trying to do the meatball from.
I noticed that.
I mean, Robbie's gonna tell me.
What?
Funniest thing. I know. We'll
get
get back
there.
to John Coleman, but let's talk about Meatball real quick. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
playing this. There's this party game. I think it's called Party Tricks or something. You have it on like a console, and you basically it's like a trivia thing, and you can press your answer on your cell phone.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
attaches. The voice of this game is frickin' Meatball.
Really?
It's like
That's got to be annoying.
Oh my God, is it A, B, or C?
it's just like man, just for a paycheck. I understand, but
Yeah.
It's like, is he swearing at you when he's like, "Pick one, bitch"? Like,
That's so funny.
oh my god. All right. Well, you guys have one LP out.
EP.
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 I wish
my bad.
LP.
I mixed it up. So
It is
it's
not
called Empress. I love the
called
title of the concept. How about you tell? Because I feel like I'm going to butcher it. What's the concept of Empress?
I don't
Of
know
the
if
title,
there's
at least.
necessarily- Well, Arjun should explain this. So it's the name of our song, and we decided it was like a really cool thing to also name the EP after. But
Rob, we write these songs and we don't have any idea of what they're about, but I like to pretend they have words or lyrics, you know? I like to pretend they're about something. I try to just think, like, what am I really feeling during these lush harmonies that Logan's writing here?
What's this make me feel?
What does this make me feel? So one of the songs ended up just making me feel like it was some kind of melancholy, like, tragic story about someone who is very powerful, who, just fucks up life for people around them. Anyway, there's an emperor.
Are you writing about yourself right now?
No, I don't know. I just try to draw connections. Anyway, the concept, there's nothing like super deep about it. It's just that like it's about this Chinese empress named Empress Zhao who like kills all of her children as they get older because she wants to keep the throne to herself. That's all. She like becomes an empress by like killing the king. I think probably.
Yep. No,
you know,
she's-
she was like a
she's-
concubine of the king. She kills the king. Then she kills all of her sons as they get old enough because she wants to stay. Yeah, like super dark. And so I don't know. It just was a cool story. And then we had an artist who was able to design something that looked exactly like what I was picturing.
amazing.
And I was
Yeah.
like, look, this is it. This is really good.
Here, give kudos. Who did the cover?
Christina Chung.
Yes,
She's-
Christine Chung. Christina
Okay.
Chung.
Is that her name on like the Facebooks and all that? Do you know?
Uh,
Just to give her a proper tag if people want to like get an album done. cover
yeah,
done.
yeah. That is. I forget exactly what her handle is, but
What's okay?
But she's. I mean, if you search her name, she's. We were lucky because I think we kind of got in as she was starting to, or we were able to get in touch with her sort of as she was starting to get bigger and bigger. Now she's illustrating for the New York Times. She's doing like much bigger things than a local band out of Philly. So it's cool that we met her when we did.
You got it on the ground floor, so to speak.
Yeah, and she was at that time she was starting to gain some traction for sure. But like now, I mean, maybe she would work with us again. But
Same with our friend Skylar Jenkins, who's kind of been working his tail off.
He's a hard worker.
Yeah. John Gilbride was in here a few days ago, like I said, and we talked a lot about the videos they've been doing. Hambo and Relay also did a few live videos with him over at Blue Light Studios in Jersey. And the videos that you guys been putting out, you worked with Skylar a couple times,
for a
right?
couple of them,
times. Yep.
Which songs did he do?
We have an NPR Tiny Desk submission that we did, but we put that on YouTube, and that's Are You Real? And
But he also
Skylar did that.
He also did the comedy.
Oh yeah,
videos
he
that we
filmed
did.
those comedy interviews that we did, where it's like
Oh,
black
that was
and white.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He showed me that.
That's
Oh my
actually
God.
that's the stuff we're really interested in doing with him again.
The comedy bits?
in the next year. Yeah, we want to like plan some out and
It's just like it's just fucking around. That's what
Like it's a joy. It's not like an arduous like process. Like, hi, we're this band, and we here's our music. Thank
Right,
you very much.
definitely.
It's more like an Office or Parks and Rec kind of
Yeah,
joking
I mean,
around.
it's I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like exactly what we did there, but it's certainly a lot less stressful to go into a room and be like, okay, we don't have to get this take right. Instead, it's like, oh, we're just gonna be talking like this, or we're just gonna be having a good time.
the kind
and
of
he's gonna
vibe
be filming.
I think that I'm going for is like documentary now.
oh my
yeah,
god,
Just like
yes.
really laying it thick.
Yeah,
you
right.
know.
Oh my god, what's his name? The late night host who also works with them. Oh my god, what's his name?
What, Seth Meyers?
Seth Meyers, thank you. I just listened to an interview with him and Dak Shepard, the podcast Armchair Expert, and he talks about it. He's like, oh my God, it's so great. I go from the late show to this, and it's like, it's so hilarious. I'm sure it's the same for you guys, doing like very formal interviews, and you're just like,
Can't say we've done a lot of formal.
oh, you
interviews,
did
but
okay player. That ain't no joke. So,
That's fair.
or was that
was all
was
written,
that in
though.
person? Oh, written.
That was all
okay,
written.
I was gonna say it was
It doesn't
very,
feel the same.
Okay,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
person's very different. Like
Yeah.
we're a bunch of assholes in person. It's all right. So how long did it take to write those tunes on Empress and record them? And you recorded them nearby, I think, in
Villanova.
In Villanova.
Oh, you did it at Villanova.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that with
Eric Bazillion.
not the guy who was thinking of?
Oh.
But that's cool. Who was he? Eric?
He's
Is he the guitar player?
He's the guy from the Hooters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that was able to happen.
I met him during
very
a session.
fortuitous,
That
very
was it.
lucky. I don't
And
even.
I showed him our band, and then he's like, "I like it. Come in. I'll record you." And he did us a huge favor. We did all of those songs. Each one was 4 hours over like 4 different nights that we had over like a couple months. Right.
Recording, writing.
Just recording.
Just recording.
Just recording.
Oh no, I'm sure the writing process took much longer.
The songs kept changing.
Yeah, yeah.
Every 2
I would
months or
say
so.
that for our songs,
They
they
still keep
usually
changing.
take about, like the first ones that we wrote took a year to write, honestly. But we were performing them because part of the writing process for us is definitely performing and then figuring out which sections work and which ones don't.
Right, you have a lot of sections in some of these tunes, and you're just like, I don't even know how you remember these freaking.
Well, it's because we perform them
perform them
so
all the
much.
time.
Yeah, so that's how that's the only way we're able to do it. And then now I think our last like full song that we wrote is called Upward Mobility, and I think that took about 4 months to really get the final form down.
Yeah.
So is the process getting faster for you guys?
It is, but it's still too slow. In my opinion, I think we need to speed up because I think we need to be producing more content. And at this
I think
point,
we
we're
can
still-
speed up.
We can.
Yeah.
But figuring out that process is really difficult, man.
Oh, I'm
It's-
sure. For us, we Mark wrote most of our tunes. Didn't you, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, so Mark's wrote most of our tunes. I recently came in with 2, and it was very scary for me. But we do it where we write it out on Sibelius, the general idea. Mark will sometimes play it into GarageBand and then bring it in, and then we kind of add our flavor. But it's usually at the discretion of whoever writes it. You guys are very different. From what I understand, Logan brings in an idea, and then you add your taste onto it, and then you come up with sections after that.
Yeah. I'll come in. I come in with a piano part with.
Or
either
several
lots
piano
of
parts.
Either like with lots of sections or like a groove or whatever. And we just actually had this conversation where Arjun's like, I brought something in, and Arjun's like, okay, cool. You have all these sections and they're right next to each other, but I realize, you didn't write this with me. So right now we need to take one of these sections and actually like groove on it. Because when you're writing it alone by yourself at a piano, all you're doing is like trying to change things, but you're never actually like sitting in a pocket and grooving. And so that's what Arjun brings to this process is like the soul, the feel, he really does. He takes the songs of like just like the harmonic and melodic ideas that I have, and he actually adds a pocket to it, and he adds something that someone can like sit in and groove to.
It changes
So-
the compositions though. Like if you're writing alone, I was just telling Logan, like leaving space is such a different decision for him versus when he's playing with me. And he's like, oh wow, I didn't even think of leaving space here because there's drums, and I didn't even realize that he was going to play that pattern. And that's kind of how we're writing. We're thinking about writing stuff. Like if I want to bring in a tune, Rob, I have to write it in Sibelius because there's no way I can look at Logan and be like, play a D flat. Add 9. He's like, shut up.
Let me play the piano.
I would never.
He doesn't
say that.
shoot me down, but I'm not
would
going to know what the hell
never.
I'm talking about. I just wouldn't be able to talk theory in any intelligent way.
Oh my God, me
I need
too.
to put it. Like I know what I'm hearing. I'm like, and I need to present it in a more convincing manner.
I am the same way.
I'm getting there.
Do you when he records like all the layers, because Mark can play guitar and organ, and you can use fake drums. What's the drum program that you use?
Superior drummer.
Yeah, and then you can like kind of you use that, and then you put a layer of whatever you want to write on top of it.
That's cool.
And that's really helpful because then he can bust them out and just like hear it sounds
Send the
good.
tracks,
What do you guys
yeah.
think of this? We can kind of fiddle with it. Like we're putting out an LP in May, hopefully, and he's already writing the next tune for the next thing. So it's like it's really challenging me because I'm like I can't keep up, and I don't do it enough. As drummers, I don't think we do it enough.
I do want
I
to say
just
that the
don't-
next.
I don't like itch those like skills enough, man. I don't shed the like composing theory writing.
Ari
stuff.
Honig polyrhythms.
I don't even practice like my drum music enough. Like I've really fallen off the ladder with that kind of stuff.
Well-
I used to be really good at it.
Well, the question I actually had listed next was, you have a day gig. You don't have to tell us what it is, but how does it feel balancing that? We'll call it work hobby balance, just because there's no other way to say it. Work and other work balance.
It's like having 2 full-time jobs, I guess. I mean, like my life is basically like I have like I have a girlfriend, there's a dog, there's a band, there's
always
a
a
job.
dog.
Yeah. and the dog is relatively new in the equation. I had to get used to that too.
What is it?
I don't know. It's some kind of mutt thing, but she's my angel. I love her. Anyway,
What's her name?
Lizzie.
Lizzie. Come
Yeah.
here, Lizzie.
Yeah,
When's
she's
the last time you actually called her Lizzie?
let's not. I call her everything but her name. But
So a lot of cussing, I'm imagining. Like,
yeah,
No.
well, she's poopy.
Poop. Yeah, it's
Poopy.
poop.
Yeah,
It's just poopy.
a little poop. Anyway,
we call our dog's name is Layla. She's also a mix. We call her Ragamuffin because she was like she lived on the streets in Northeast Philly, and a Ragamuffin's like a I guess a homeless person.
Oh.
But
wow.
she's like yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So she's our little
She's a
Ragamuffin.
little rag.
Anyway, moving. And I'm gonna get
Ragamuffin,
called out
vagabond.
on the podcast.
So
and we
the
get an
day
email.
gig.
The day gig, yes.
the work hobby balance or the work balance. So it's yeah. So basically, all my time is like scheduled in
Right.
a way. Like whenever I have free time, it's not necessarily like, what am I gonna do? It's like I'm gonna spend time with my girlfriend, or I'm gonna like go out with her. Like I'm gonna like, you know, try to hit every aspect of my life in a way that I'm balancing all of them. So like I rarely get this thing where I'm like I have a day to myself. I think that's the only thing that's kind of annoying, but it just requires planning. Like if I plan things ahead of time enough, I can do whatever I want to do. I just can't do things as spur of the moment as I usually could. Like maybe 2 years ago, and it was just like, oh, like this weekend's coming up. Cool, I'm just gonna sit around today. No, if I want to sit around, I got to know at least a week before. You know,
Right.
So when things come in, it's like, no, it's in my calendar. I'm sitting around.
Are you
Logan.
pretty anal about your schedule on like the cell phone? Like you.
Sort of, yes, because like basically I have to mark when I'm out on the Trap Rabbit calendar, and then I have my personal calendar that I share with my family and friends, and then I have my work calendar, and so all of those are on like just my big Google calendar, and that's it. I mean, you know, music's at night. We got kicked out of our music space for rehearsing at night.
No.
Stuff like that is hard.
When
I
that
can't.
happened?
I can't rehearse during the day.
Very
It's
recently.
very recently. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Is that the one you had in Fishtown?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Kensington.
Or Kensington.
Yeah.
Was it in West Kensington? Kensington?
Maybe.
Boy,
Could've
Maybe
been.
that's what it was. They got really pissed off
Yeah,
about
they
the
got
West
really
thing.
pissed, yeah.
Oh, it's a shame, dude.
Yeah.
We're very lucky in what we do, but did you guys find a new space yet?
We're looking. We're looking for a new place.
Okay.
We
But
don't
the
have any
issue I'm
space.
running into is just like that whole time curfew thing. I really wish we could play during the day. It's my favorite time to rehearse is in the morning, but I can't. Very rarely can I just like see like I'm taking 3 hours off work so I can do this. You know, I can, but it's rare.
I think I might have some friends that have like a space. I'll hit you. I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah,
afterwards.
please. Because we need a spot, like desperately.
The Darla guys share something with Swift Technique.
Oh, we've
guys.
been there, yeah.
We've been there, and that building. I need to. Oh man, actually, Richie from Darla gave me the number of the guy who runs that building, so I will check that out. And that's very convenient for me because it's in West Philly, and it's like 6-7 minutes away from where I live, but. From where, from where we live.
We live very close
we
to
live
each
very
other.
close to each other. Yeah,
There's a recent development.
So that is very close to me, but unfortunately, most of the people that we work with and rehearse with do not live in West Philly. So
That's a shame.
So
Including me.
even though it's super convenient for me, unfortunately, I probably have to give up that dream of being able to just kind of like drive 6 minutes away. So
It's a good dream. Now you, Logan, no day gig, but you teach.
I teach. Yep.
How's the balance there? We've talked about this a little bit.
Yeah. I like teaching, and I used to teach a lot more than I do now. I used to teach 20 to, anywhere between like 19 and 22 students at a time. And that was too much for me because it was getting really difficult to be able to figure out what each of the students needed and what they were preparing for their recitals and all that stuff and what books they were on and where they were, and also balance the various bands that I'm playing with and like the different projects
Right.
that I'm working on.
For people that
So-
don't know, not from the musicians community, a lot of musicians they teach for a living for paycheck, and it's difficult because when people are free is usually in the evening, and if lessons you teach past like 8:30, you're starting to have to cancel a lot of nights just so you can teach, and then you have to kind of balance like, all right, I have zero time for rehearsal or for my family time or dog poopy time or whatever. It becomes very difficult.
Yeah. So I've cut it down. Now I'm at about a day and a half a week.
That's great.
Is what I'm teaching. And
I think that's a good balance. How many students is that?
It's around 10 students. Something
Okay.
like that. Maybe no, it's a little less than that.
And it's manageable?
It's definitely manageable. It's like because I also have 2 adult students, and that's just like
Hang
really easy. Because it is kind of just like hang in. Like they're very like I definitely have input for their direction, but they know a lot more what they want to get out of their lessons, whereas the little kids like don't at all.
Yeah, you
So,
just throw songs their way. If they catch it, you're like, okay, this is great.
yeah, exactly.
Did you,
So,
Arjun? Did you also have history in teaching at all, or did you?
I've
strictly
done
go-
it before, but very, very seldom.
Okay.
Yeah. I give lessons occasionally when people ask. Yeah.
Now it's time for the music news. I bring in some news that either involves our perspective genres or some things that are happening. Let's start with something that's happening in Princeton. which you guys went to school at.
What is happening?
Yeah,
The
well, I don't even
Chinese
know.
government
Oh.
is buying a school in New Jersey. Which school, you ask? They're buying the Westminster Choir College.
A Chinese what?
The Chinese government is buying
They're buying the West. What?
Here, I'll read you the
Are you-
article.
I was just reading about
A
this
small,
yesterday.
highly specialized American music
Wow,
college in
I'm
Princeton
so
is up for sale, and its prospective buyer is a Chinese for-profit company that's partly owned by the Chinese government. The planned sale is raising red flags and on and off campus, triggering speculation of the prospect of an authoritarian foreign government running an American institution of higher learning on U.S. soil.
Yeah, very, very.
Why is it up
very
for
interesting.
sale? I didn't
Well,
know
so
that-
the Westminster Choir College, there's also like a whole bunch of other stuff that's at play with this as well. The first thing that I thought about
please
is like
give me
they're trying to get like somehow figure out what's going on in like the Princeton Science Department, but I don't really.
Wait, do we not
understand.
know what's happening in the Princeton Science
No,
Department?
I don't know. Look,
That's
look,
a complicated
the,
question,
So
I'm
what's
pretty
what's
sure.
what's the
Princeton Plasma Physics
no
Laboratory.
no but where's
Forrestal
no but where's the other the one that Einstein was part of, the
Institute of Advanced Study.
The Institute of Advanced Study. That's the super
Very heady.
no, it's like that's where the conspiracy theories would start with this, is like they're trying to somehow figure out a way to get over there. But what I think is more likely is that like they're really, really, really into classical music, and the Westminster Choir College is a really great college for choir and conducting and things like that. And so I think that the Chinese are trying to just, because like it's a huge profitable industry in China right now.
You know what I think is huge
so-
and profitable? It's real estate, especially when it's bought by Chinese people.
Yeah.
I think they're just making good investments.
But also,
Like, I don't know if
yeah.
they're thinking that hard about this. They're
wish
just like,
this-
this is up for sale. We should buy it.
I wish the U.S. was thinking about that, buying some arts buildings. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, we're in
Womp.
debt to them anyway.
Chinese-
whatever we can't afford. I mean, I don't know. It's their money. We're spending their money.
The interesting
We're about
thing
to
about
take a
this-
deep dive here.
I'm gonna pull you guys back for a second. The interesting part here is that building is supposed to go back to the theological seminary.
Oh,
That building is actually
Oh.
there was a contract signed back in like I don't know what, the late 1800s or something, or the early 1900s, I think.
Yeah.
That's it. Originally was part of the Princeton Theological Seminary, and it said if it ever can't stay a music conservatory, it has to go back to the theological seminary.
But if it stays open as a conservatory owned by the
So that's-
wait. So if it's owned by the other government, but it stays a conservatory, they still have to give it up.
Well, I think
That's the
that's
argument?
the argument right now. The theological seminary is saying like, okay, well, you guys can't run the school as you were supposed to anyway. It should come back to us. And the school, the Westminster Choir College, is like, well, but we're just selling it to someone else. So why do you care?
Something tells me that you're deep in this and you're putting this out
I just
there.
read this. I read this article
pretty
yesterday,
cool.
and it was really interesting because I'm like, why does the Chinese? Why do they want this small little college? Why? It's so many questions.
I'm of the opinion that they're just not thinking too hard about it.
And they just want the money.
They're just
Dude.
experimenting. They're just like, oh, let's try buying it. Like, we could.
Oh, the
Let's
Chinese government's
like,
gonna-
they're just seeing how much they can get away with at this point. They're just like, can we buy it? Let's buy it.
That's
I don't
interesting.
know. Are they
Well,
really
it's
going
not-
to change everything?
It's a for-profit company. They're involved with that company, the Chinese government. It's not exactly like they're buying it, but they're definitely in ties. Also in the news, I don't know if you guys care. I just thought this was weird, and I thought we could talk about this. Keith Urban
I know him.
and Post Malone team up for
jeez.
an Elvis special.
What does that mean, Elvis special?
They're gonna do like an Elvis. They're having an Elvis like TV special or
Wow.
something, and those two are singing together. Apparently, Post Malone is really influenced by Elvis.
Okay, so there's a lot to say about Post Malone that I just,
Well, this is an explicit podcast, so if
I-
you feel the need,
look. This is what this crap has come to. Mm-hmm. This is what channel is it on? I mean,
I can get you info. Hold on, I got the article right here.
like, is it like maybe it's fake and there's no channel, and if we dive deeper, it's just they're just announcing it. They're never gonna do it.
No, I've seen videos of Post Malone doing like songs.
Can he really sing?
No,
right?
I mean,
Like-
in the same way that he sings on his tracks.
Like, if we saw him at Championship Sports Bar in Trenton, I don't think he would sound very good.
He would sound like he sounds, man. Which is, yeah, you're right.
He
I
beat
don't know
Thriller.
how to-
He
Yeah.
beat Thriller. He kicked them off of the record for being at the top of the R&B charts for most consecutive weeks. I read that somewhere.
and it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
That was the song I picked.
Oh yeah, the
Which
Post
song?
Malone one.
Better Now by Post Malone.
Okay.
Because I heard that on the radio. It's like, you want to see, you can better now, better now.
Oh, that
and,
one,
And
yeah.
as soon as I heard it, I was like, I turned it on. I was like, Logan, I was like, yo, this is the jam. Turn it up, boy, turn it up. And then he's like, Arjun. I was like, uh-oh. I forgot this is Posty. Oh, no.
And you're done.
And I'm done.
And
I
you're
was like,
flagged.
damn, he wrote a good hook. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
But then you listen to the words and you're like, oh, my
Yeah, that's the
God.
problem.
He is like a bowl of Cheerios that has been left out
It
for
looks
24
like
hours.
With milk and everything.
Yeah, like, and not the honey nut
And
kind.
it's like soaked up. All
Yeah, it's
in
like
milk
it's like
and
a it's like
soggy and-
the bowl of Fruity Loops from Toy Story that Sid like leaves on the floor. That's Post Malone.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like-
right.
It's really popular, but it's like a day old and it's soggy and there's really not much there.
Yeah,
But it's really, people bought it for sure.
I mean, we can talk about top 40 stuff probably in another segment, but
I know.
Uh,
Well, he said Post Malone.
yeah,
Yeah, and there's a
I
lot
think
of
it's
people
very
on this
interesting.
special. I just wanted to kind of talk about it because I thought that was strange.
Well,
it doesn't say
yeah, keep.
it doesn't say what channel it's on. It just says Hitmakers Tell E was like is where the article comes from. It doesn't say where it is. I just thought that was kind of bizarre.
The more I think about this, the more I think it makes sense. Elvis historically just straight up stole music from black artists and sold it as his own.
Is there proof of that? I haven't dove too deep into
there's
Elvis.
actually
That's
there's actually
it turns out
there's
that's why rock and roll as a term exists. in a
real
way.
well rock and roll was invented by black people and then was popularized among white people by white people
But they
taking black
called-
songs and making them either whiter or just playing them.
Wait, they just straight
and
up
then
took the songs?
They just literally Hound Dog. Everyone knows it as an Elvis
Right.
tune. Not
Whose is
written by Elvis. It is a Big Mama Thornton.
It was Big Mama Thornton's song?
Yeah.
Does she get credit for it in the writers?
No.
Oh
No.
my God!
And
Really?
black rock and roll is what they called R&B.
Right,
They separated
right.
those. And
So-
No,
I
hold on,
think
was
this
that
is all-
intentional from the African American side, or is it from the Caucasian side?
no, I
you
think it's
call
from the
it?
Caucasian side.
Oh no, yeah, it was
Yeah,
the industry people.
that's a
marketing
genre
towards- yeah.
labeling technique to separate the two genres.
Post
But
Malone,
also-
yeah.
yeah.
Post
Again,
Malone
right, genre
is
problems.
kind of
Yeah.
doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He's taking black culture and he's marketing it towards not black people. And I think he's doing a way worse job at it too, man, than Elvis did at the very least. Elvis, I feel like, was trying to play the song. I don't know.
Well, then again,
This is
maybe
really weird.
it's about the same. It was probably an outrage back then with some of the communities,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like now. But anyway, super bizarre.
Yeah.
We talked about Brad Meldau. He's coming out with a new album, a live album with I think it's Charlie Hayden. Have you heard about this?
No, I
It was
didn't.
a live album done in Europe. They're doing just a duo album, and they're releasing it soon via. I think it's not Interscope. I can't find the record.
It might be his normal. It might be None Such. That's
The album, it's Impulse. It's
Impulse,
It's
okay.
but it's Charlie Hayden and Brad Meldau, Long Ago and Far Away. It's just the duo, and I didn't know if you heard a lot of Brad Meldau's like duo stuff. Like he did something with the guy from Nickel Creek. Name.
yeah, he did, and that's
What's
a
his
cool
name?
thing.
Mark.
His name? No, he's no, it's Chris Thiele.
Chris
It's Chris
Thiele.
Thiele. He did.
I don't need you, Mark.
Yeah, it's Chris Thiele, and that was a pretty cool album. I mean, a big influence for us is his collaboration with Mark Juliana, Meliana.
Taming
That's
the
a
Dragon.
thing?
Taming the Dragon, the
yeah,
album.
That's the only reason.
Dude,
honestly,
check that
Dude,
out.
you
I'm gonna
are
check that out.
sleeping on this.
That's
Oh
where
my God.
That's where I
Yeah.
first.
That's why we have this podcast.
That's where I first heard Mark Juliana was on this album, and then he got popular because he was doing other
David
like,
Bowie and everything,
yeah, all this
yeah.
other stuff as well. But
Oh,
But-
the Black Star? No.
That was Mark Giuliano.
Oh, okay.
Black Star, yeah. Yeah.
But
But
so
yeah.
his duo stuff, the Chris Thiele stuff is very interesting. I think it's really cool. I didn't really connect with a lot of the songs, but I felt the exact same way about the Mark Juliana, Brad Meldau thing until I revisited it like years later. So maybe the Chris Thiele thing will connect with me in the future.
Eventually.
We might be
Yeah,
like more
eventually.
mature, or maybe listen to music differently now.
I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
but
hard to say,
But
you know?
the Charlie Hayden thing that's awesome. I mean, I forget who he did a duo with another pianist that I really liked, and I can't remember what it was.
I know he did the Pat Metheny.
Actually,
thing?
I think it was Pat Metheny.
'Cause
No,
they
it
did,
was a guitarist. Yeah.
But this kind of ties me in on his website. He talks about that, but then he also talks about his relationship with Roy Hargrove, who recently passed away. and I was kind of deep diving. I don't know how much you guys like or know about Roy Hargrove.
Love him.
Like the RH Factor or anything like that.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was on dialysis for years
Really?
due to his kidney. And then this was like he had
Roy was.
cardiac. What did I say?
No, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, Roy Hargrove. He was on dialysis for a number of years, at least according to this article, off of Heavy.com. NPR reports, that Hargrove's cause of death was cardiac arrest, and it was due to reasons of kidney function.
Wow.
Which goes to show, go to the doctor, even if you can't afford it, musicians.
Yeah.
Please.
Get health
right.
insurance.
Get help.
Well, that's a whole other topic. We'll
Well,
have a
yeah,
round
not your
table.
fault if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But
another
wait,
reason why I have a day job. Anyway.
well, no, I mean, back to your day job. It's true. Like
Benefits.
So real.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I talk about that all the time. Like benefits. I'm Canadian, so if I wanted to, I could move and get their health insurance. It would take me about a year, but it could happen. Who knows how long Obamacare is going to last for a lot of musicians that need it.
They're not making it easy this year. That's
Yeah.
for fucking sure.
Well, we're not going to dive into that.
Yeah.
I try to avoid politics.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
all costs. Now, one of my favorite sections of this podcast, the reason why I wanted it to happen, is this section called Whip It Out, your phone, that is. Whip out your phone, and we're going to look at the... God. we're gonna open up Spotify or Apple Music, whatever
This
you
is
got. And we're going to look at the
incredible.
last 5 things we all listen to. I'm going to tell you mine just so we have something to bridge up the time. The last 5 things I've been checking out... Paul Simon was recently on SNL, and I talked about SNL last podcast, but he did Bridge Over Troubled Water with like an African groove underneath it. It was amazing. Check that out. I recently
sounds
dove
awesome.
into, like you guys like Sarah Bareilles by chance?
I'm gonna
I mean, I
write you
know.
a love song.
That's a good song. I don't care what you say. This song called Manhattan.
Wait, I think I had the wrong artist. Yeah, Manhattan.
I'm gonna write you a love song.
Is that Sarah Bareilles?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Never mind. Anyway, what's Manhattan?
It's a good song by her. It's like a kind of a chill ballad. Check that out.
Cool.
Marcus King came out with a new album.
I don't know
Marcus King Band.
Who's
You guys,
Marcus King? Who's Marcus King?
you don't know him?
Uh-uh.
Oh, this dude, he was signed by, what's his name? Whose record label is he signed to? Warren Haynes, right?
Oh,
He was signed to Warren Haynes record
Cool.
company. They found him. This dude is awesome. He plays like crazy guitar. He has like this deep, raspy voice. I like him a
Oh,
lot.
awesome.
He came out with a new album called Carolina Confessions. The tune on there that I'm going to list is called Homesick, that it's been stuck in my head for a little while. The 4th thing I got is the band 3 Oranges from Philadelphia.
Oh, very nice.
Do you know them?
Yeah, we played on a bill with them.
Oh, with Sam and all those guys.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
great. They have an album on Spotify called Dry Water. Check that out. And the 5th thing, I don't know if Arjun likes this guy, but I've recently kind of dove into Tommy Igoe.
Okay.
He's got a band called Groove Conspiracy that I kind of been checking out. I've been digging it. It's self-titled. Check that out. Do you like any of his stuff?
I know like more about like his playing style, I guess, than in
Like his
any
teaching
of his
stuff?
projects. No, just like watching videos of him and stuff. Like I haven't like dived into like his actual like repertoire, I guess,
Yeah.
or his discography.
Groove Conspiracy sounds
Groove
pretty
Conspiracy. Check it out. I
Cool.
like
Is
it.
that
I
the
like
one
it.
with the
I haven't.
turtle on the front? Is that the one with the turtle on the front?
No,
Oh,
it's just
never
kind of like
mind.
one of those. It almost looks like a brewery logo
Oh,
on
okay.
the front. I'll show it to you afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
But what do you guys got? Arjun, how about you go first?
All right. I'm opening up recent tracks.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Go to.
Well, you can't open up your history on Spotify, so I'm on my last FM account, which I got years ago. It tracks all my stuff.
oh,
So
awesome.
let's
So
see.
you know exactly what you're listening to.
I have a record of everything I've listened to for the most part since 2008.
That's
on here.
disgusting.
It's actually not bad. We can go into
pretty crazy.
trends.
All right, what do you got?
All
Last
right.
5 things.
All right. Sunny Shine, You Belong With Me.
And you guys play for
I played
her?
on that track. That's probably why I was listening
Okay.
to it.
Yeah.
Oops. It says 23 hours ago. That's what I did. So
You were like, yeah, I'm awesome. It's cool. It's
we all do it. I mean,
no, we do.
we all do it. At least I'm being honest. All right. There's something called Clarence Clarity.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that last night.
I still don't know who this person is, but he
really
makes
cool.
some really crazy like pop influenced glitch EDM stuff. It's really good.
Okay.
Clarence Clarity. I'm a big fan. One of my coworkers showed me this. It was good. Agudos Clef. They're a hip hop group from Trenton that we've played with.
Okay.
They're Dominican and they make Spanish rap music in
Yeah.
the Spanish language.
Also-
No Soy Yo is the song. Oh, what?
They rap in English and Spanish, and they're
Yeah,
They
I
do
guess they're
Spanglish and they
bilingual.
kind of go in and out of it.
they're
Okay.
awesome.
They're
really,
awesome.
really
Yeah,
cool.
they're on Spotify
Big
too.
band? Or is it
It's
just
a
like
duo.
the-
It's just
It's
two
a
of them.
duo,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
they're still kind of local, but they're rad. Yeah, they're really cool. We met them at another show that we played at some point. So
And then I have the Bad Plus, that album they did that was called like So Far Out or something, and it was like the one where they did like Comfortably Numb, and they did Lithium, and they did like How Deep Is Your Love and Barracuda, and so I was checking that out.
Have you checked? Did you ever get to see them when they played Chris's? They did like a 4-night stand. Like
Not at Chris's.
3-night stand.
We didn't see them at Chris's actually. Was
Okay.
that recently?
No, this was a while ago.
Okay.
This is when did you guys move to Philly?
2015 fall.
Oh, it would have been before you moved here then.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that recent that you guys moved into town.
Has it been? Is that still recent? Now it's like almost 3 years running.
Well, the reason
Yeah.
why in my head, I've been with Hambo and Relay for almost 3 years, and it's almost felt like a flash. So
Right.
the first time I met you guys was playing with Paul Hosenik, which we didn't talk about. The captain, the pilot, the driver. I saw you guys. You opened for my acoustic show.
Yeah.
And that's when I first met you guys, and y'all are nuts. And then I played with Logan for that same band. I guess you couldn't do that set of dates. And then I saw you guys play as Trap Rabbit. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. And was that 4 things or was that the 5th thing? I think that was 4.
That was 4.
Give me number 5.
I'll give you one more. Cool.
Is it something else that you're on?
No.
I'm
it's,
amazing.
It's K-pop.
Give it to me. I got
So You and Jonggi-go. The song is called Some.
SUM.
SOME.
Okay.
It's just really good.
Are you into K-pop?
Sometimes. There's
some
fascinating.
of it is pretty rad.
okay, it's super good because they love neo soul, and the stuff that they write is like, oh wow. Anyway, there's a video of Jack Black on a Korean game show where literally he just like they put headphones on him,
yeah, it's so
and
cool.
then
Oh, he
then
sings it, right?
He has to sing the K-pop songs,
And
and,
they
like
have
the, and the Korean game show contestants like have to figure out what song he's singing, but he's just like going, and it's like it's almost like obnoxious, and like you're almost like, is this offensive to them? And then they're like, yo, he's really good.
Yeah.
They're like really impressed with Jack Black, and they get him all right because Jack is doing something right. Anyway, that's where I found that song.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna put that in the Spotify list. What do you got, Logan?
Okay.
These are all tunes that
the
he's
most-
played on.
The most recent thing was Lil Baby.
By what? Is that a
Drip
person?
Too Hard. Yeah, Lil Baby. Drip Too Hard is a song. The beat is pretty cool. Let's keep going. The one after that, actually, yes, I am on. I was listening to it because it just got put out literally today. It's Rachel Andy's project. It's called
Yeah.
Tu Me Manques.
Yeah, she's coming in next week.
Yeah. So I have that up here because I actually hadn't listened to the final masters, so I wanted to check them out.
For
And-
people that aren't aware, sometimes you play on a project and then you don't hear about it for a while, and then you forget you played on it, and then they put it out. You're like, oh yeah. So then sometimes you do have to listen
I mean,
to it.
I had definitely, we had been keeping in touch, but I hadn't listened to all the final masters.
That's great.
But anyway,
Congrats.
she's awesome. Her songs are super dreamy, and it was fun playing on that. It's a different type
You're-
of music that I've played. So.
You're dreamy.
Oh, thanks.
All right, what's number 3?
Number 3 is Cannibal Ox. Hip hop, sort of MF Doom.
You've shown me
style.
that.
Cannibal Ox is awesome. So the album is called The Cold Vein, and it's like, I really like the beat making mostly. It feels like a collage of just samples, and it's just super cool. Yeah, like MF Doom sort of style. What is that? So that's 1, 2, 3. Number 4 would be Meliana, which is Mark Juliana and Brad Meldau. The track is called "You Can't Go Back Now." And it's pretty much just a Mark Juliana feature. He's doing this crazy stuff. Oh, you gotta listen to it. You'll have to listen to it afterwards on the playlist. It's
when I compile these, I'll.
it's nuts. And then number 5 would be wait, I was listening to something on the Soul playlist. What was I listening to?
Do you guys
the
do the
last one.
playlist? Like, you check out the playlists that are on like Spotify, like just
Sometimes.
either different artists or like artist radios or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have my Discover Weekly.
Okay.
I use it. Actually, it's fine. I don't like Spotify as like a concept because it's just like I need music discovery to be a little bit more than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so constraining. I hate
Because
it.
certain record companies pay for you to be seen more on some of these platforms.
I just don't
things.
like discovery being dictated by an algorithm.
This was,
Yeah.
That's all. I just I much prefer someone like messaging me and telling me to listen to something, which happens more
lot.
often. That's where I'm getting my
I
recommendations
I
from.
read a really interesting article recently. It was about algorithms, and it was like algorithms are supposed to be specific. This is a huge tangent. I'm sorry, but algorithms are supposed to be like truth. It's like a computer thing that makes it, and so everything is like completely separate from opinion or whatever. But I read an article from a computer scientist who's like, no, that's the exact opposite. An algorithm is actually the person who writes the algorithm, their opinion on what is valuable and what is not valuable. So
They're
when you're looking at
dictating what gets
Spotify,
through the filter,
exactly,
you know?
and it's not a computer's filter; it is a person's filter.
That's fascinating.
Who wrote that algorithm?
Who wrote the algorithm? So with Spotify, like you're getting discovered, it's all algorithmic, but like there's a person behind the algorithms. Like there's someone who's curating what comes to your ears, which is cool on one hand, but not cool on another hand.
because they have more control over what you hear,
Right.
And they can kind
You
of
just have to make
influence
sure you just have to make sure you have a wide variety of sources of music.
I'm sure Spotify's hiring machine learning programmers now, and they'll get around to that. So multiple people will
Eventually.
dictate,
Yeah.
or it'll be an ever evolving.
and maybe they can get
Skynet.
around to paying us.
Yeah, one day.
One day. I think number 5. I think
Number 5. Here's number 5. I was just showing this. It wasn't actually on like the Spotify Soul playlist. This is like my Soul playlist.
Okay.
And I was showing Arjun this last night, I think. It's called "Nothing Wrong" by Wayne Snow, and it's just a cool track.
Okay.
That's it. It came up on my Discover Weekly.
That's sick. I'll check that out
playlist.
for sure.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's amazing, man. It's so great. We've only done 2 of these, but it's so great hearing all this different music because I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
like I would have never even dove into K-pop, but now I have to listen to it because
you
I have to
have
curate
to.
the playlist, which is great for me. So I get to listen to all this crazy stuff. And thank you for coming on today. Next up, we're going to talk about the top 40. Oh, yeah, sure. The top 40 on this show or podcast is we typically hate the top 40, or I do. And sometimes just to force ourselves, like, what does the public like? I will dive through the top 40 and I'll find something that I actually enjoy. And the reason I'm going to list my one track is my friend Jake Summers. He plays drums for this artist, and this artist is doing great things. The song is called "She Got the Best of Me" by an artist called Luke Combs, who's doing really great in the country scene. Really great singer. My buddy plays drums for them, not on the recording, but when they go on tour and live stuff. Yeah, it's a great track. Last week, I think I mentioned Ariana Grande's like "Thank You Next" was pretty cool. I like that. And then what's the other one? The "Shallow" song off of the "Star Is Born," the movie.
Okay.
Is really
Oh,
good.
Cool.
What'd you guys find?
Logan, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So
Did I list the one?
I will. And the little baby that I said in the last segment, that was because.
That's because of this segment?
I was looking at the top 40, and so this song has it's pretty classic. It sounds like almost everything else that's on the top 40 right now, but so it's called "Drip Too Hard," and I think it takes what that top 40 style is, that triplet feel, really sparse beats, but it takes it. I really like the beat. It's really simple. It's just kind of a warbly guitar sample, and I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool thing.
That's great. I'm gonna check that out.
And then there's the Ariana Grande song, "God Is a Woman." It's a really
Your
catchy
eyes
song.
just fluttered, bro.
like-
do you want to talk about it real
It's
quick?
good. It's just like really Ariana Grande. As far as pop artists go, she's great. She really is. She has a great voice. She has a great songwriting team behind her. She's just doing good things.
What you got, bro?
So the first one was "Better Now" by Post Malone, but I already dove into that, and
Yeah.
so I don't need to talk about that again. But just to reiterate on that song, good hook, bad words, and I got fooled by a good hook.
Hook as in melody? Or,
Yeah, the chorus.
Okay, just checking.
It's just like it's not innovative pop hip hop at all, and it's almost like disrespectful to the genre and the things that people do within the genre.
You feel very strongly about that.
It's true, yeah. I mean, he's
You've
just
been
like,
tricked.
it's like if this is what all the teenagers want, like I don't think it's all of them. I just think like
Certainly some of them.
there's just like an alternate reality happening, and he's like very representative of this alternate reality where people just don't care where things came from. But also, that's been happening
For a long time.
for a long, long time
Right.
for everything ever. So let's go to a different song real quick.
What you got, bro?
Maroon 5, Girls Like You.
Okay.
With Cardi B.
With Cardi B, because I happen to enjoy Maroon 5 sometimes. And Songs About Jane is one of the best albums. Like,
Could not disagree at all.
I love that album.
It's a great album.
As far as pop music goes for me, that's a seminal album, But, that whole, like, that sound, it's like, man, when did they decide that they were never going to revisit that again?
Well, I think I have the answer.
Really?
In the Rolling Stone, there's a Rolling Stone article. I think they've gotten rid of it, but there was a Rolling Stone article where the guitar player, what's his name, James Valentine, did an interview with somebody from Rolling Stone, I think it was, and he said like they released "Hands All Over Me," the record with like the naked girl in the bed, and then he said like, yeah, I'm not sure we're going after this. It kind of sounded like they were like calling it quits, and then Adam Levine got that TV show.
No, The Voice.
And then what I think happened, this is me guessing, is that it's Adam Levine's songwriting crew, and instead of him creating the Adam Levine brand, they just kept the Maroon 5 brand alive.
I wonder if they like bought out the other band members through like a shareholders
They
agreement
probably get
We better
paid,
hope.
or better not.
Just
They
by
better
being
hope
part
they
of the
didn't, because
name.
they're probably getting paid bank
to do nothing.
Well, I think they write with him, but like they're just like, okay, it's a pop
Yeah.
gig now.
Like, are they
yeah.
even touring with him? Like, it's been a pop gig for a while. Is like,
but the
like,
band's expanded. It's like 7 artists.
PJ Morton used to play for them. You know PJ Morton? Yeah, like he should be in the top 40. That guy's amazing. But like, anyway, I don't know. I listen to Girls Like You, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like Adam Levine. Like, I wish you could just go back to doing Sunday Morning. That's all I want. I just want you to play with a real band.
And he'll
you
be
know?
like, fuck you, look at my millions.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why he's in the
fine.
top 40.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, there was some fire there that they had, and then it just like, and still he writes catchy hooks, so I'll give him that.
That's an interesting song for Cardi B too, because I thought that she's normally like a tough girl, or she's got like her persona, but on that track specifically, she like is not that way. She's like a different persona. She's like kind of like softer and like.
Do you think that was intentional by the Maroon 5 people, or do you think that was her?
Well, I don't know.
Is that like her new direction?
I don't think it's her new direction, but I feel like the Maroon 5 people were like, this is a different song. This is a chance to show a different side of you.
Kind of like
Cardi
when
B.
Kendrick was on that Maroon 5 song.
She is an Instagram. Oh my God! Right. That happened. That happened. She
I
got
don't know why,
famous.
but we'll-
Cardi B got famous off of Instagram. She was like, she didn't do
like-
music.
And like, just
She got into
talking.
music after she got like famous for just being Cardi B, like
Yeah.
on Instagram. And so like this whole thing is just Maroon
think
5
she
being
was
like,
on-
yo, the beat works
she
for
was on a
her.
reality
Just
show.
put her in. It
She
doesn't
is?
matter.
I think she was on a reality show or something. There was something else that launched.
You
her
heard it
music
here,
career.
folks.
What?
Nothing.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Wow, don't quote me on that. Jeez. Oh man.
All the emails.
All the emails.
All the emails. All right, so this brings us to our next segment. One of the last segments. It's called Lightning Round. I'm going to
Oh
say,
jeez.
like, your favorite such and such or your first such and such. You have to give it to me. And then at the end, we'll have we'll call it the Sideman list. And you can list all of the people that y'all play with. Let's start with Logan.
Okay.
Just relax. Just shake it out.
I'm not good at thinking on the spot.
All right,
y'all.
so first album you ever owned. It can be embarrassing.
Waiting for My Rocket to Come by Jason Mraz.
That's a great album.
It was actually a good album.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually 2. So it was 2 because they were given to me as a gift. It was Waiting for My Rocket to Come, and it was the Foo Fighters album with the Bleeding Heart.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. First show you ever saw? Like first big concert.
The Strokes, and they were playing with. I can't remember who else it was because I only remember the Strokes, and they were awesome.
That
Yeah,
sounds
they,
amazing.
they killed it. Yep.
All right, favorite song to play right now.
Right now? Okay, right now. Right now, my favorite song to play is Lightning Round. So I just have to say it. I say Upward Mobility, our tune.
The
Upward
new
the
tune.
new one. Yeah.
And that'll be hopefully on a new album.
Yes, coming out very soon.
We're gonna put it out as a single. I
Yeah.
think.
We're
Oh,
gonna put it
awesome.
out
Yeah,
first.
we're gonna record it this
Here,
month.
I'll ask you about that in a minute. Least favorite song to play.
Least favorite song to play.
You can say a cover.
Okay. My least favorite song to play is Piano Man.
Oh, that's a good pull. Okay, there you go.
That's a good
You hear
answer.
one more request for it, you probably kill somebody, right? Favorite local unheard musician that you believe deserves recognition? Philly local.
Favorite's pretty tough, man.
Right now, who's like burning inside? It's like that person deserves more, or that band deserves more.
They're rad. They're taking off. You know what?
Yeah,
I
who's
think
that? I'm sorry.
there's a rapper who I think like a lot of people don't know. His name is Yikes the Zero, and he's awesome. And I've only seen him out like on the scene a couple times, and he kills it every single time. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. Guilty pleasure artist or album?
Guilty pleasure artist or album. I don't know if this counts as a guilty pleasure. I bring it up to people, and they're like, what? But Dave Matthews Band, straight up.
Which one?
Ants Marching. That's
a great one.
It's a great album, and it's like awesome.
Arjun agrees.
It's a great album, and yeah, it doesn't feel like a guilty pleasure to me.
Favorite album of all time right now?
Favorite album of all time right now. Well, I have to think when you say album, it has to be the entirety of the album. It can't
Yeah,
just
all
be
the
like
tunes.
a couple songs shine through. And I think one of the greatest albums in modern, at least in the past 10 years, has to be "Choose Your Weapon" by Hiatus Coyote. I think it's just like a really well put together album.
Now, forgive me. I think I listened to it one time. Was it Talib Kweli who rapped on that?
That was on-
Or is that the
that
other
was
album?
on the previous EP. Talk Tomahawk.
Talk Tomahawk.
That's the one my brother showed me.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was their debut.
Favorite artist of all time right now?
Oh, jeez.
This is the hard one, so take a second.
Favorite artist of all time.
Eternal.
That's too.
Miley.
It might be no. I would have to say it would have to be. This is really hard.
You want us to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me.
Arjun, okay, ready?
Yo!
First album you ever owned.
Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent.
Woo! First show you ever saw.
I believe it was probably something Bollywood related because my parents took me to those.
Really?
So, yeah, like Adnan Sami or like maybe like a Bollywood like showcase thing in like a theater in New Jersey, or the Kodo Drummers. I saw the.
If we had
Kodo
more
Drummers.
time, we would dive into that.
Yeah,
'cause I wanna
Kodo Drummers
know
like some
more.
Japanese thing. I definitely saw those shows as a kid. First like real rock and roll show in my memory was definitely seeing Fish when I was like 18.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I never really made it to any like big shows until that moment. I was like, this is dope.
Well, I didn't see any shows till late, too. I think my first big concert was Billy Joel.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So, unfortunately, Piano Man was playing, but
Oh,
the band was
sorry.
awesome.
I saw Roy Hargrove and what was I saw Sonny Rollins' 80th birthday concert when I was in high school.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a big one for me. Yeah, because Roy Hargrove was there too.
He was
and
playing?
Christian McBride. Yeah, I was all the way in the back. I had nosebleed tickets, but it was dope.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Where were we? Favorite song to play? You
Um,
can say your own.
Yeah, I could say my own. I would actually give it to a cover that I've been playing because I love Trap Rabbit songs, but I play them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it to that Lettuce song, either the Flu or what's that other one?
Flu is so good.
What's the other one that's not the Flu?
Uh,
Mark, do you have a...
That one. I like that,
That
one.
one.
They both have vamp oriented drum solos at the end, and I just love playing
Adam
them.
Deitch. We saw him. We saw
love
that
Deitch.
band with Turquoise.
Oh, Turquoise is another live show that's crazy.
But least favorite song to play.
Oh man, probably like anything that's like just a badly timed blues or something, just like a shuffle blues. Okay. I don't mind playing a shuffle blues, but if someone just goes like, "This is what we're gonna play now for 20 minutes," I'm not very happy.
Yeah. If it
As a
doesn't go
drummer, it's
anywhere.
kind of hard for me to tell you like a specific song, but you know.
But doing that very
Yeah, I'd rather play a ballad because ballads are difficult.
Yeah,
to
you-
do it well is satisfying.
with color and things
Yeah.
like that. Favorite local unheard of musician or band artist.
Man, there's so many that I think should be getting famous and should get recognition. I'm just gonna say I think like Sunny Shine's band is gonna get bigger. I think her sound is really, really good, and she's got like a unique thing going. And every time I see them play, there's something unique and more tight about the group that I think is great. Same with Rachel Andy's group. Some of that stuff is really beautiful, and I just hope like her music and her voice, it comes out in whatever form in the future.
All right. Guilty pleasure artist or album?
Oh, guilty pleasure. I love like what's that stuff called? Like really bad like elevator jazz. I'm trying to think of like stuff that falls under
Like
this.
Kenny? Like Kenny G?
No,
Like-
no. That's not
That's
pleasure.
dentist music. Excuse
That's
me.
not pleasure. No, I'm talking about like there's a name I'm looking for here. Dave Matthews Band, by the way, totally falls under the thing, but it's Philip Martin. It's like it's just it sounds like this.
All right, cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. All right, it gets real cheesy. It gets real cheesy. Just yeah.
All right, favorite album of all time?
The L.A. Woman by The Doors.
Favorite artist of all time?
Right now, I would say it's consistently been like until recently. I would say it's been Wolfpack in a lot of ways. I could give them the top spot for like the last 2 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah, just based on like the way they market themselves, the way they've like reinvented what it means to be an independent band.
They do a really great job.
It's inspiring on like a lot of different levels. So.
We feel that. We look at some of the videos and like some of the promotions they do for like social media, like they did it first.
They did.
Yeah.
They're becoming like the Simpsons because like every cool thing that you want to do is like Wolfpack did it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wolfpack did it.
yeah.
All right, back to Logan for your favorite artist of all time.
Okay,
right now.
so I had to just think about like influential versus like doing like the thing that I'm trying to do, which is making things that's I think everyone's trying to do it, but just making things that's artistic, but also like isn't so in my own world or in my own head that no one else can connect with it. And I think that's Stevie Wonder. I think he's like the guy who wrote, like if you look at his songs, they're way more complicated than they sound. And I think that is
making that sound simple is very
awesome.
difficult.
Yeah, and also like I go and I listen. I try to learn. He's part like his left hand is what I try to model my left hand off of most of the time.
Oh, that's
so it's like
interesting.
both. He's very influential. Like there we go. That's it.
Okay, very cool. All right, what's your next show, guys?
The 7th of December.
Friday.
Yeah, but this will come out after that.
Yeah.
So what's after that? Something in January, you said, right?
We have a couple shows in January. We're playing. Oh, actually, no. Before that, we're playing in Ambler.
Where?
At Forest.
Is the
in
Oddity
Maine
Bar not
or
happening?
something
That bar
like
is
that?
great.
Yeah, I've heard.
I've played.
We are playing in the Oddity Bar as well. I forget when that is. I think that's in 2 weeks. But
Forest in Maine, my buddy actually runs. I taught the Maine
no way.
brewer drum lessons for a
Cool.
long time. He's fantastic. His name's Dan.
everyone who's played there has told us to play there.
Yeah, they have great
Or
beer.
everyone that I've talked to has played there.
Compensation is good. But it's a cool place. Sometimes they have walk-in crowds. Sometimes they don't. But it depends on the time of year and everything. You guys mentioned something about an album.
So we are in the works of scheduling our time for our album. I can't, because all this is super in the air and nothing has been signed, nothing has been like fully solidified. I can't really dive into it too much, but there's a potential that we could be working with some pretty cool people, and I'm excited to do that. I'm hoping to start our recording process end of January, beginning of February.
We are doing a recording session at the end of December right now that we just booked. And
Yes.
so that's where we're going to hopefully get like a single out and that we can just put out some content that, will be a precursor
That
to
will
our next
probably
release.
come out late January. I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
we're just trying to get some more stuff out there for people to listen to.
Just
you
like
know.
us, yeah.
Professional stuff, yeah. Just doesn't have to be a whole album, but like just a single song. you
Right.
know.
Like we've been talking to you guys. You guys will hopefully be joining us in studio to do one of our tunes. If you guys are down. I know you're playing. Logan's going to be playing on one of our tunes.
Nice.
Very excited.
And I would love to do double drums on it too.
Nice,
So we'll
yeah.
figure that out. Where can people find you? Online.
We got traprabbit.com. We've got our Facebook.
Trap Rabbit Music. At Trap Rabbit Music on Instagram.
On Instagram.
We have a Twitter. Don't look at it.
We don't do it.
the
Twitter is
same
one of
problem.
those things that
We
we
have the
just
same
have
problem.
not. We just have not tackled Twitter. But you know, Bandcamp, Spotify.
I'm
we're
looking into getting
streaming.
I'm looking into getting a Teespring account so we can sell apparel online. Cause
Are you joking or are you serious?
I'm serious
No,
because
'cause we
it's
have lots of
apparently it's
ideas.
not that huge of an investment, and if you can just get a shirt design uploaded there, you know, people who don't live in the area can at least order our shit and get it to their house. Because I'm not gonna pack this stuff up. I mean, I could. Maybe
You
I
just don't
should.
want to.
I just don't want to.
Yep.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah,
Trap
right.
Rabbit does not want to pack the merchandise.
Not into packing.
Oh my god! All right, fine. You know, it's like what I gotta. I'll pack some up. God, we have
we've-
so much extra mediums
we've
from our
caught you.
last batch.
We've
Yeah.
caught you. That's amazing. Oh my god. Well, dudes, thank you so much for coming.
Can't
Thank you, Rob.
enough for having us here.
Oh, this has been so enjoyable.
Oh, it's fun,
Yeah.
man. I love talking music. And plus, you can check out all the music we talk about on Spotify on the playlist we're going to have. And yeah, thank you for coming and listening to Dude, Check This Out. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to Dude, Check This Out. Once again, if you want to learn more about Hambone Relay, please go to our website, hambonerelay.com, or go to iTunes to check out our records, or Spotify, which is where these playlists will be located for these episodes. And don't listen to the haters, man. There's plenty of good music out there. You just have to keep looking. See y'all later.